Alright. I'll see if this is going to work here. Okay. So here we go. This is going to be my teaching and kind of exhortation to each and every one of you. I know the environment's a little bit different. I'm not in my truck. And I'm glad. Seriously glad. You know, I've been wanting to do this teaching for a while, but it just hasn't happened yet. And I'm hoping that I can get this done. And if not, then, well, it'll be pushed to a later date. But, you know, I've been listening to preachers for quite a while. And, you know, over the past 20 years, you know, it's all the same message. Absolutely all the same. And it's like they never really have anything new. And I thought, well, why not? You know, the Bible's so complex, man. There's so much to talk about and to discuss, and for everyone to learn. I just thought, you know, why isn't there something that makes sense, that makes me want to learn? Well, I'll tell you, I've been through a lot in my life, and you know, I've said that before. I'm not gonna go into the details because we'll be here like for a good solid week with me not stopping talking. But you know, now we're in the end times, and this is not a time for jokes. This isn't a time to play around. This is the time just to get serious and know exactly what's going on. Where to start is the question. Well, I'm going to tell you that I would say the vast majority of preachers that you go into church and you listen to them, that they really have no idea what's going on. Yeah, they'll get up and read the word, which is anointed. So, you know, you can't say, well, that preacher's not anointed. Nah, the word's anointed. You have to accept that. Because it's Jehovah's word. You cannot get around it at all. So, I'm going to be discussing the 144,000. And this is going to be something that you're not going to hear anywhere else. Is it because I'm making it up? No, I'm not. You know, from my past videos, I've told you that I've spent a lot of time studying. And I'm sure it's studying that, you know, people wish that they could do, that they just had the time that they could do it. Well, I'm sorry, unless you do, then you get stuck with me. So, that may be good for you, and it may not be, but I'm going to guess that it's probably good for you for the simple fact that, yeah, I've dealt with a lot of things in my life. And, yeah, I'm sorry if you have people that insist that they are more qualified or better qualified because they've went to seminary school or they have a doctorate in whatever. I don't really care. Because there's only one thing I care about, and that is getting the truth that Jehovah has for you so that you can know who he is and know what's coming and not be ignorant about the situations that are going on now. Because, you know, now at this point, we've got just everything is turning upside down. We've got massive fireballs coming in. I don't know if maybe some of you have seen them. but they're there. And, there's no getting away from it. The Lord said it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. We cannot sidestep prophecy. Prophecy is a huge part of the Bible, and we will attempt as well as possible to understand it and teach, because that's what it's all about. What good is it if you've got everything in the world, but you don't know how to use it? What good is it to sit and study the Bible if you have no idea what you're supposed to be studying? You don't know how to study. You've never been taught. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get done. So I'm trying to teach you so that way you can understand what is going on. I wish I could do it just real eloquently and, I don't know, make sure that you're all entertained, but entertainment's not while I'm here. I'm here to teach. And, if I can make light of some situations or, get you thinking about what's going on with the way I talk, then that's good. That's good for you, because then it's kind of like there's a fire lit inside you that is wanting more. You want more information. And that's great, because the information is all about Jehovah and what he's done throughout, since the beginning. He's an awesome creator, and, he loves us so much that, being the foreknowledge center, he's like the main hub of all knowledge. Everything comes from him. And he's absolutely amazing. Now, I will say that his thoughts are just like way so much higher and better than ours, because we always put our own motives behind it. And, his motives are what's best for you. And it's not meant as a dig at any of your pastors or anything, because, they are trying to teach you what they know. But you can only know so much from the Bible. It's more about having those who are teaching you have an actual relationship. And I'm not talking this weird, oh, well, I have my own special relationship with the Lord. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is he's put his heart into you. So much so that when you see like hundreds of people coming out of a church, you start thinking, well, I'm pretty sure that church just has no idea what's going on. And, I've listened to, preachers, as I said, for a long time. And they all just end up repeating the same thing. It's a cycle. And they don't ever actually do any real studying, because their studying is for like an academic purpose. Their studying isn't for just self-growth, They don't study because the word is life and they want life from it. They study so that way it's a job for them. And that's what the Lord was talking about, these ruling Jewish bodies back when Yeshua was walking around. They were going around, teaching people just so they could get more followers. And, they ended up being twice as bad as the people that were teaching them. And that's not good. But that was one of those woe to you Pharisees. All you do is you walk around to make a proselyte, and you end up making him twice the child of hell that you are. This is, the feeling that the Lord has about all this. And, the job as a teacher, you're supposed to explain it in ways that people can understand it, that, you have a feeling, for them and their situation. And it's all about them. It's never about the teacher at all. I'm of the mindset that, if a student is failing, it's not the student's fault, because the student's doing what they can. Now, if they're obviously not trying, then I still think it falls on whether or not the teacher is able to communicate with them and get them interested in a way that there's kind of a fire lit underneath them and they want more. They have their eyes open. They're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. That's the job of a teacher. And, back in the day, the rabbis, and the same now, they have wanted to get followers because they think their way is right, but they've even, strayed from the law of Moses. That's, that's not good, because the law tells you about everything that's coming, and it encompasses everything. But, I can't undo the things that have been done. But what I can do is I can try to steer people the correct way so that they're able to understand. And that's really all that I want. I want each of you to understand that there's a lot of information out there. Not all of that information is good. And I will try to do my best to make sure that if you have questions, that I answer them. I'm not real big on responding to like really wordy paragraphs, I guess. To those of you who do, write a lot, I will read it. I may not always respond to it, but I will read it. It's kind of, I'm trying to pick the best word for it, but it's almost like arrogance. Because you've read this, you're good or something. Yeah, I'm not sure the motivation behind it, but I just want y'all to know that I'm glad each of you have had some history in learning about the Bible, but please do not take a religion's doctrine and base your life on it, because it's a religious doctrine. The only doctrine that you need, the only teaching that you need, comes directly from the Bible. And I'm not a fan of just having people, read these verses or this book so that you learn things. I'm not about that. All I am about is getting the Bible and teaching directly from that. Now, any outside sources I use, like a Strong's, it's like a dictionary. It's a dictionary for the Bible. It helps us understand the word and the meaning behind the word. Now, I hope that, each of you are actually doing studying instead of going and listening to these people that, well, I had a dream that blah, blah, blah happened, so that means that we're all supposed to do this. I know that the Lord gives messages through dreams. I know. I've read it in Joel and I've read it in Acts and everywhere else in the Bible. My thing is, you're listening to like little sound bites of what's going on, and that's not good because you don't get the whole story. So please, just know that when you are listening to people, please just get your Bible out. And, again, as I've said for I don't know how many times, find someone who is a good teacher that can explain to you things and make it to where you understand the concept of what's going on. But it's not even so much about that. It's more of just getting the truth to you. Because there's so many people that get on YouTube and they will, it's all about numbers for them. I think the last I looked, I had 10 subscribers. And I'm glad that, people are listening to the truth. But, is that just my audience? What about that one person that just watches one video of truth? Isn't that, and it does something to him. It changes his life. It gets his mind thinking about something else. I would rather have that one person. I don't care if I had 300,000 followers. If that one person had a sparked interest in the Lord and none of the other 300,000 did, I would be happy with that one. I would be tickled pink that they would want to get to know the Lord. So, with all that being said, I'm going to start on this because it's going to have to be in a couple of sections, because I get about 30 minutes on uploads, so I have to do it in a couple different. So I'm going to do about 10 more minutes on this, and then I'm going to do another one, and it's just going to be nothing but teaching. Okay, so the 144,000, these people have been talked about so much, so absolutely much. And, it's kind of crazy that out of the entire Bible, this is like one of the subjects that really grabs people's attention. Whenever you mention the 144,000, it sparks people's interest. And I'm glad, I guess, that, that happens. But people, they're just like throwing ideas around about who these people are, what they do, so on and so forth. And, again, I am no one special whatsoever. But, I have studied. So, what I tell you it comes strictly from the Bible. And, you can draw your own conclusions. For sure. That doesn't bother me at all. But what I tell you is truth. And I'm no one special. Just please remember that. I hope that each of you really decide to look into things. I don't want you taking my word for it. Please don't. Please do not take my word for it. Go and just study. I know it's a difficult thing, but last I heard, there's still a lot of people on furloughs from work. Use the time. Use this time right now to understand the Lord better. and just learn. You have nothing but time. So here goes. So the 144,000, they are sealed with the Father's name in their forehead, which means that that's just what they think about. Their spare time is thinking about other things, but while they're, the majority of their day, when they have, I guess, time when their mind's not occupied with work, that they're thinking of the Lord. And why? Because they understand who He is. And it's an amazing, concept, really, to have these people that, they've thought about the Lord so much, and they love Him so much, they want everything. They want to know everything about Him. Why? Because why not? Why wouldn't you want to know the creator of the universe? Why not? It's a rather fantastic just concept of an idea that you get to know who He is, and getting to know who He is, you learn who you are, and you learn to submit, because the more information you have about someone, the better you understand them. And there's always people that will try to twist that whole message and idea, but that's the concept here. We wanna learn why He does this. Why does He do that? Why did He say this over here? And it all just comes down to love. That's all it comes down to. When you wonder, oh well, why is He, why did He allow my grandma to die? Well, because it was her time. It's just plain and simple. I can't try to spin it any other way. When people are taken out, it's to spare them. And sometimes, it's our bodies give up, and we die. That's just the time. There's times for every season. There's a time for birth, there's a time for death, there's a time for love, there's a time for hate, there's reaping and sowing, and building and destroying, and so on and so forth. All time for that. But these 144,000, these people are, they have a huge job description, and it is one that they do out of love. It's not just love for the Lord. We should all have that. But these people have a heart so attuned to Jehovah that they see these people, and they feel drawn to them. And it may just be a prayer, it may be telling them about the Lord, but they want to see Him do good. And not only like in this world, because this world's going to be gone here pretty quick. These people want to see Him learn about the Lord. It pretty much excites them to think that someone else is going to know the Lord. Someone's drawing so close to Him so that they can know and understand who the Lord is, what He wants. And all He wants us to do is just to be obedient to Him. And in return, we get love. Love like you've never, ever imagined. It's wonderful. It really is. So, this group of people, they will go way beyond what the average person will. And I'm going to give you a couple job titles of these people. They're shepherds, they're watchmen, they're prophets, and they're helpers. And that's just 4 titles that I've kind of made of, they're the aspects of them. And there may be more, but there's always more detail in everything. And as much as I've studied on this, there's a lot. There's a whole lot going on. So I'm going to start by telling you why they are shepherds. You see, whenever Yeshua was here, he was telling us about how he would leave the 99 sheep and go find the one. Because he knew that those 99, they were safe. They were good. It was that one that had wandered off. So what does he do? He leaves the 99 and he goes and he finds that one, no matter where it's at. He will go everywhere because sheep are not smart critters. They will wander and they just have no idea where they are. So they have to have someone to guard and watch over them. And, take them to, good pasture where it's safe. And they can get fed, they can get watered. Well, let's go to Isaiah 31. And we're going to look at something that the Lord said. Okay. Let me see here. Wait. Is that right? Don't think that one was the right one I was looking for. Okay. Okay, now Jeremiah 23:4. Not quite sure why I wrote that last verse down. I'll have to go back and look at it. Okay. So this is Jeremiah 23. We're going to go from verse 1 to verse 6. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, says Jehovah. So the pastors there, that word is also shepherds. Verse 2, therefore thus saith Jehovah, the Elohim of Israel, against the shepherds or the pastors that feed my people. You have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, says Jehovah. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, says Jehovah. Behold, the days come, says Jehovah, that I will raise up unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. And this is talking about Yeshua. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, Jehovah our righteousness, Jehovah Tzidkenu. And this is the Lord saying that he's going to appoint shepherds or pastors over his flock. These people are going to be the ones that are going to defend them, and just as I said, it's going to feed them. They're going to teach them so that they can understand what the Lord wants, because the Lord's word is life. That's how we grow. That's how we live. we live from all the words that are in here. Okay, now we're going to go to chapter 50, verse 6. Or that's the, I guess, the key verse here. Okay, so I think we're just going to start in verse 4. So chapter 50, verse 4, and then we will go to verse 7. In those days and in that time, says Jehovah, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. Going and weeping, they shall go and seek Jehovah their Elohim. They shall ask the way to Zion, with their faces thitherward. In other words, facing Zion. Saying, come, and let us join ourselves to Jehovah in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. This is the new covenant, or the renewed covenant, because all it did was it added detail to the covenant that he made at Mount Sinai. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. In other words, their teaching that they have taught has caused them to err. They have went away from the truth, and they're okay with it. It's like I go outside, and I have one field that is it's just been worn. Just all the nutrients are gone out of it. But I have another field that is just so green, so lush. Well, my sheep get the choice of where they want to go. Well, what he's saying here is those shepherds that are over those sheep, they've pretty much closed off the gate to the good pasture, and they have forced their sheep into that bad field.